going on, everybody? One, two, 1, 2. Get some coding going soon. Okay, let's run her, see if it goes. Okay. So now we have a console. Anytime. So what does the console do? No, that's what you're wondering. Okay, him is. So the console will log everything instead of having the black console that used to come up look like the old DOS. Now when I do something, so if I import a tree, we'll see here, press load, and there you go, we have some logs. We've imported something, etc. You get it. If there's any GPU errors, we turn that on and it will tell us. And you can see there's many, which is why I created this. Now it's just the same error every frame, so every frame 60 frames a second, so it's telling you that 60 frames a second, so we turn it off. Now this is going to help us to find the errors. Or we can pause login. These are old errors, but it won't give us any more. Let's take it off. Or we can have info only, or maybe we just have warnings. This is a warning. We got it. Show info. And there you go. See, we have a tree that doesn't work. But I've been fixing it slowly. The numbers of the indices are wrong, so it's drawing the lines wrong. This is how it should look. There's two trees now. Let me just take the lines off. So it should look like this. It looks like that. And it should look like that. So as you can see, I once had it working. It works fine. But it wasn't doing a few things, so I've started again. So what I want to do is see when I import a tree, it's doing too much. So I'm just going to tidy up some code that is responsible for. Let's have a look. Sorry. Wrong component type or count. Why, bro? This is the second laugh. I can't help it. Chat, I'm talking to chat. Okay, so the console, the problem I have now is we have a console, but I don't always know how many of these messages have come from the most recent action. Therefore, I'm going to put numbers next to the console message and the time. That's how we do it. That is what we will do. Why did that get so small? Okay. The one is if you hold Control down and put your mouse over the names and scroll, you'll get everything, which doesn't help sometimes. So let's go to the IMG logger. Maybe let's do one file at a time. Get rid of this. So here we are with the error, the warning. But we also want to append or prefix this with the time. Retrieve entry number, std string entry equals, we have a loop here. Oh, great. And then index. So we're going to start on 0, add 1 at the start of the loop. Entry equals so string index. This will turn a number into a string. Will that work? I need to initialize it first. Okay, what I've missed is it doesn't know about strings. What it does. Maybe I missed a semicolon. Is it working now? Okay, for anything that's for user interface, you don't want to waste half your time making the interface. So as long as you know 80% of what you're doing or more, give it to ChatGPT. And I'm going to tell it, it's off screen, but use the new entry string to add the number of the loop entry at the start of the message and the time. Therefore, it will be like one time info message. Okay, let's have a look. This sort of stuff can save a lot of time as time goes on. But we're going to be adding some data here. It's suggesting something I've not seen before. Although it's pretty simple in theory. Let's see. little function, a getter function to get the time. And we need chrono. Presumably chrono means time in Greek. Okay, this will give us the time, it will return it. Okay, so now we will get a time. Okay, I'm gonna enter it. Okay, should work. Okay, so now what we have, first off is an error. Let me see if we're live. Because the first entry is starting at 2 instead of 0 or 1, but it doesn't actually matter because it doesn't matter. But why have I done this? Let's have a look. Okay, so some numbers are going to skip because I've hid some errors. Okay, so now in the log, there is 309 different times. Okay, so earlier, right, it's actually getting the current time of the computer instead of the time that the error came. So that's where ChatGPT is wrong. It's updating it. It's getting a live time. That's quite funny. We will fix that later. So error 309, or let's remove errors. It's just log 309. So earlier I was adding another tree and it was giving me a lot more. But when you've got so many, you don't know how many are new. So if I click it once, okay, I don't know how many of those are recent. If I look them on 2600, I press load, and it's giving me from 2600 to 3000. So it's giving me 400 messages. So it's like, why? Why is it doing? So this is the problem. Why am I getting 400 errors? Just to load one model, which is so. This is why I've created this debug. And then I want something to clear the debug. Hi ChatGPT, doesn't this just give the live system time instead of time of login? So every now and then, if it's not that important, it doesn't matter. But every now and then, I'll just go into my code and not cheat. Okay, so it's getting the local time. It's getting time now. It might be because of the reference. A reference means something's normally live, so you take that away. But because it's a pointer, it's not going to work. So TM, which might be time. I've never dealt with this time and library Chronos because who wants to deal with a time library? So you ask yourself the question, how much time do I want to spend on this? You want to spend 3 days learning how to code the time in your game? You don't. When you first learn coding, you learn everything, but then when you see it's vast, it's not important. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT says. You're correct. My previous solution generates the current system time, not the time when the log was created. If you want to display the time of login, you need to store the timestamp. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to create. Okay, so this is a structure of a log. Every log we have will have a message and then the type. It's an error, it's info, it's graphics card. But yeah, the structure also needs now a timestamp. So then it might just put that, send the time to the timestamp memory placeholder. Let's have a look. Where are we doing it? I think it actually needs to take place in the loop. Add log needs to happen here. This dot timestamp, no. This dot log buffer dot, no. Let's have a look. Log timestamp. Okay. Add log. What is log buffer? It should be an entry of this. Yes. Okay. I'm tired. Message type and okay. This may or may not explode. The structure of this. Okay. So we have something called a log, which has a message, a type of message, a warning or info. Now it has a timestamp. This is the constructor of the log. So every time you create a log, it needs the message, the type, and now it also needs a timestamp. Okay, so now we have timestamp. Timestamp is a string. I'm using the okay. Okay. This little function here from ChatGPT will just turn the time, which is numbers, into a string. Even though it will look like numbers still, the computer will think it's now letters, so it can put it in a sentence. Number and the string is stored differently in memory. Okay, ChatGPT, let's see what you've got. So we're going to loop through every log, and then for this particular log, we're going to access log.timestamp, which is what we've just created, and then put it in time string, which we then put next to the number 1, number 2, number 3, the time. And then hopefully it's the same, it's not the same time for all of them. Okay, they are different times. By 1 second, which makes sense. So now, if I import, there we go. We did it. And this is why it's not worth, just for that, just to know what time an error came, it's not worth learning how to use the time library. That's it. Okay, so just a shout out to those that don't know, we're using C++. And we're going to say to ChatGPT what programs are written in C++ that I might know, and what is C++ good for. Let's have a look. C++ is a powerful, high-performance programming language that's widely used in many industries. You're probably familiar with many programs and technologies built using C++. Here's a rundown: operating systems, Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Linux kernels, web browsers, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, game engines and games, Unreal, Unity, Unreal Engine, games The Witcher, Doom, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Adobe, Microsoft Office, MySQL. Okay, so I just want to explain the difference between, if we did that in Python, you could probably do it in 1 line or 2 lines, and then it would be done. It would give you the time. However, it would be much slower when the program's running, because the reason you only need 2 lines is because all those other lines we typed, the other 20 lines I got from ChatGPT, those lines already exist in Python in the code, they're hidden. So when you run the program, those 20 lines I typed, they're already there in Python, even if you don't use them, which is the key. So if you're not going to use the time, those 20 lines are going to be in your program whether you like it or not. So it's a heavier program, there's more instructions, it's taking more memory, it's going through more lines. Very roughly speaking, in C++, there's not really any baggage, so that's why it takes longer to bring something in, because if you're never going to use it. So C++ gives you speed for that reason. Okay, so we have a part of a debugger, but we can do what we want with this. Now we need to clear it. We need a button to clear it. Okay, so let's have a look. We're going to go to ChatGPT versus just coding. Okay, so checkbox. This is just me. Okay, maybe we want a button. So I am GUI, I believe button. Button is clear log. And then I think that will be it. And then what we would do, so there's a button called clear log. Now if an action takes place, which is if we click this button, we're going to do whatever we say in here. And it will be logger.clear. So we will clear the logger. Now this could create some errors. Log buffer is what we want to clear. Log buffer, not clear. Shouldn't be a capital C. How did that change? Log buffer.clear. And let's have a look. So this could be useful if you've got 100 lines. You don't want to see it. So that was quite easy. It might not work. There could always be bugs because sometimes you can clear something and then it wants to use it after you've cleared it. You forgot what you wrote. I think we're okay. For example, the loop could be wanting to use the data that we've just cleared, but it looks safe, memory safe. Because if there's nothing in it, it just won't loop. It's taken a while. I've got my laptop on slow mode for no reason. Okay, so we have a button now, clear log, and it's clearing, and then there's new errors coming. Okay, so if we take the graphic errors off, and then let's say import some trees. So now there's however many 20 errors. Clear log. Okay. Clear log again. Now if I load a tree, and that's what it should be doing. When I load a tree, it just gives me not this. Clear. Clear. See that there? I don't know what's happening there. When we load a tree, it creates, there's two messages. A constructor is called. A constructor is a part of a code that's going to create an instance of an object, and the destructor is called when we're no longer using it. So those two things should happen. So we create another tree, it gives a constructor and a destructor. And another tree, another tree, another tree. I don't know if it's just thinking I'm clicking it a lot. There, what happened? What is that? If I load it again, so it's log. Oh, let's check the time. So it did 2. Okay, so the time's useful now. Do it again. It did 2. It did 2. 2, the 2. It's going to blow up in a minute. There, it did. 6. These are the graphics errors. Okay, so now this is useful. Now we have a tool for debugging instead of always pulling up the old MS-DOS console. Okay, so by the way, everything we're looking at here is C++. This is kind of IMGUI. It's almost like HTML. Just create text, a checkbox, and you put some text in. Feels a bit HTML, but it's IMGUI. This is for the buttons on screen, but it's all C++. All of this. And then the purple here is more OpenGL function calls, and the yellows just the purples. And the orange here is GLSL. So this is a shader language. So this is for the graphics. So this is what color the tree will be. So a little bit red, quite a lot blue, and a lot green and a lot blue. But if we go to 1, now it's a lot red, a tiny bit green, and a tiny bit blue. That will be for every line, every vertices, and for everything that it fills in. So let's clear that off, create that, and import a tree. So now the so-called tree is red. And this is what we're going to fix. I can do this off stream, probably in 2 hours. But that's just life. It's good to get used to streaming. Yep. So this is what we're fixing. The non-tree. And this color needs to change to green because I can't read that text, and neither can you. So if we go to logo, OpenGL, let's make it a lot stronger on the green, and not so much blue. And the size needs to be bigger as well. We will come back to that. That's transparent, so. I don't want any red. The F is float, a number with a decimal. OpenGL, that's the prefix of the time, and then that's the message. I'm going to add a few more buttons as well. I want a button where every bit of text is not different colors. It's all just white except the most recent message, and I'll make the most recent message bigger. But it's not important at the minute. Okay, probably what I should be able to fix quickly if I stay awake. By the way, have you lived? This is come on camera also asleep. Yeah, and let's change the focus. This is an espresso. This is a bad idea. You pop your little straw, shake it up. You get them at the airports. I know you've seen them at the airports. By the way, Dan, if you're watching this, I bought these for you and you didn't take them. Okay. What I want to do is just have a stab at fixing this on stream to myself. What are you making? Any tips? Yeah, what language are you using? Shout out receives. Yeah, the first tip I would give you is don't quit. But only do it if you enjoy it. Pick a good language, get on Discord, and join some groups of people that will help you. Don't ask them if it's a good idea because they'll say no. So if you're going to do it, just do it. C++ is a good language. You want at least 4 months experience before in C++. Some might say a year or two. And just keep your code base tidy. If you're coding and it's messy and you're hacking away, every now and then just revisit your code. And then subscribe to your homer. If you see somebody else doing it, somebody else didn't quit, you'll carry on. Okay, so we are going to fix this. I'm going to show you. Okay, I want my buffer back. Where was it? Yeah. EBO. Is that a comment I deleted? So I believe we have indices. Yeah. So the indices will be the order that it draws the lines together. That might save the shape, but I might need to tweak a bit more code. Shout out to Raycast. He's making his own engine. Don't give up, Raycast. Okay, there we are. We have some green text now, which is better. Right, you can read it. Pause login so it doesn't give me anything more. And the error is wrong component typo count. Okay. So I don't think the indices are being sent. Let's go wireframe. Just one more time for anyone that's joined. This is what the model does look like normally. But we're getting that. Okay, let's see if I've bound the EBO. Created an EBO. Generated a buffer called EBO. Yep. Let's see, everywhere we use the VAO. Normal is the EBO. No. So when you draw GL draw, this is where ChatGPT won't get it. Draw elements, I believe. And we want indices. Dot data, maybe dot size. So you can either go to OpenGL and it will tell you, actually, if we just, so IntelliSense, if you go over here, and the type, so the count is the indices. So it will be indices, dot size, and then it wants the type, GLM, vec3 maybe, and then it wants the actual indices, which is indices.data. We want that. Now, why would it not give us the vec3? Type name is not allowed. GL. It might want a purple type, which is for OpenGL only. So I'm going to ask, why won't it accept the type? Fix all of this. So we can Google it, we can ask OpenGL what it looks for, and we can spend 3 minutes or we can spend 10 seconds, which is why people are losing jobs. Okay, the problem in the third parameter, you need to specify the type of the index data, which is not this. It should be unsigned int. Okay, so the vector 3 means there's 3 numbers, but it wants to know what are those numbers. They're integers, I believe. GL unsigned int. Okay, that's fixed, but not everything is necessarily fixed. I will just add. Okay, Homer. Let's have a look. Okay, something crashed, which is good, which means it did something different. Did something different. Unhandled exception is the error I have. If I go to the log, it's not giving me the specific error. It died. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to check the world news whilst ChatGPT is thinking. Is World War III starting? Okay, it's taken a while, so Google Gemini, maybe it's better, I don't know, I've only started using it today. I took a 3-month trial. And if you got the cash, one of these are worth paying for, I reckon. Okay, what's Gemini saying? Let's investigate why you're getting an unhandled exception. Index out of bounds. It's the most common cause. Yeah, ChatGPT is still thinking. Which is why it's good to have two helpers. Okay, I don't think this is necessary. So the indices is the order in which it will draw the lines, like like a dot to dot. But what's probably happened is there's more indices than there is lines. So once it's used every line, it's giving more. So it's crashing. That's probably what's broke. And if we pause there, we can find out. Let's have a look. Let's load the tree. So indices is 936 and vertices there's 200. So let's do 281 times 3. No, it's not that. How many normals are there? 379. So it's probably going to crash. Yes, it's crashed again. I don't know if you can see it. It's crashed again anyway. We have a crash. So that's the problem. By the way, where is that music? So the problem for sure, IMO, is this function. Yeah, there's something wrong with this. This looks messy. There's no way that's working. So what it's doing, it's getting the indices, which will be 3 numbers with spaces in, putting it into stream, and then taking those 3 numbers and trying to work out what it looks like. Okay, what we need to do. So this is why we have a console. This is sexy now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that data and print it to our console, to a logger. The ChatGPT wakes up. So what we can do now, it was like logger dot add log, and then it wants the message, and that's it. Okay, this is what I needed. Because I will use this in 100 different places in the program. I mean, hopefully not, because that's 100 different books. What's it doing? I'm just going to ChatGPT for a quick log message. Output. Then we'll do. Where's that gone? This is going to be fun. So now we're going to put the word face in the stream. Log message, it'll have face. Then each loop, it should have this. And then I believe we will just do log message dot to string. Okay, we don't want any OpenGL, we want that. Let's see how chat's going. When is it releasing and what language does it use? Brother, you should see the state of the engine or sister. When is it releasing? So I am coding in C++. I've not got a scripting language or anything in it. It's just going to be pure engine. I'll probably put Lua in. LUA. Yeah. And I'm basically making a game. And I'm going to make a God simulation, a real-time strategy, or a turn-based strategy, or there's a game called Sapiens, Sapiens. Anno, Civilization, that type of vibe, but not as boring and dead as Civilization. But now we're just making some tools and that having fun. Give us a follow. For that increased karma. Baby Greg VR, I'll check you out. Got some videos. Feel free to drop a little ad. Okay, so the logger now might explode in a good way when I log this. It might just crash. So it's crashing before. Actually, maybe it's not. It's just freezing. It's not drawing the frame. So what I need to do is where are we? Okay, now this is painful for me. So I've got a nice little logger with the program's crashing. If the program's crashing, so what we need to do is dump all of this log in a file, okay? In case the program crashes. Draw. Okay. So we're going to go to ChatGPT for this, because why waste 15 minutes? I need you to create a text file, but also check if it exists, and not to create if it does. Each time running this function. What do we want to do? Best way to do this. end of this function, I want to fill a text file create with the log dump. Make sure to do new lines. Okay, so we will just, let's have a look. So now when it crashes, you should be able to see it. In a log file. But I feel like this is quite heavy, like every frame, 60 times a second, we are putting all the contents into a text file. But it might be the only way. Let's clear the log. So at least now there's not much in it. A crash. Let's see if I have a log file. Log, there we are. Yes, I have a log file. It's very big. Okay. Let me show you. So this is what we're getting. So every line is slightly different. Like, what is that? Is that all the same entry? 1698 might be time in a different format. I'm not sure. Okay, ignoring 1699 on face. These are from the indices. Okay, what I'm going to do is open up the text file for the tree. So what we're doing now, it's one of my weak points, so it's just tedious. The tree file has these faces, which basically give the order. You see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of drawing. And that's what I want to import and separate the class. I don't think that's changed. How's chat doing? Hey guys, sorry I missed you. Let me get the program up in case you're still around. 777. Get on that spiritual 777, yeah? Okay, we have a mainstream error. It's been a while. Respect to the error. That will do it. Thanks, 777. Let's get it up there. Okay, so what's the name there? The Damisher. Where are you guys? Got more errors. Oh, still loading. Here we go. Okay. So if you just join in, or you just don't know what's popping, I'm trying to recreate my tool that loads 3D models. Now, I can probably do it off stream a bit easier. I'm not used to talking on stream while I was thinking. Okay, and we've crashed, which is what has been happening anyway. Trying to work out why we're crashing. And you probably can't see the crash fully. What is that log file? So I've just wrote something that gives me log files and some debug tools. Okay, well that's neater. I'll just show you now login indices. I don't know what this final row is. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT how it interprets that. Okay. I want the log. What I need to do is give you some. I need you to see ChatGPT really. Reflection on the water, is that ray? No, it's not ray tracing or path tracing. Hi. Let's go. Actually, I did. I'll give you a reference here. Let me get the link for you. So it was a tutorial I went through from FinMatrix, and it took me about 3 weeks, and it should have took 2 days or a day. I'm going to link you. FinMatrix water tutorials.
Hello everyone.
This guy is cool. But essentially what you've got is, let me show you. And if you can bear a few minutes, I will show you. But you've got two images. You're drawing the world from, actually I'll show you visually. Get the engine up, show you. But I've got a crash I need to handle first. But check the link out. Continue. So it uses two FBOs, or two frame buffer objects. So there's the horizon, there's everything above water level. There's the like the pond below, like the basin. What happens is OpenGL takes an image of above the water, puts it on a texture. It takes an image of the world above, and then it blends those two, because the reflection is the above, and also you see through the water as well. And then you add a ripple effect with a GLSL shader. Let me show you on the code, in case you're still about. Okay, can you still see? Yeah. This isn't going to answer your question entirely, but it's going to get you started. That is not the water shader here. So this is a shader. Maybe you know this is called a shader. This is the programming language that runs on the graphics card. A sampler 2D is a texture. So we have here 3 textures. Okay. The first texture is the reflection. So it's going to be everything above sea level, because that's what will reflect, and that will be sort of print screened onto a texture. The refraction will be the opposite. So under, and the DUDV map is the offset. So you put these two images on top of each other, and then you sort of offset them, and it creates a ripple. And to offset them, you use another texture. So you find a picture of something that looks like a ripple, and then it moves across. And then you can give it colors. So what we would do, I'm pretty sure this is still the code I'm using, the active code. So watercolor. So you can see here, watercolor is mostly, so we have red, green, and blue, RGB. So it's mostly blue. But shouldn't it be like even stronger blue, but a bit of green and a tiny bit of red? So now the watercolor change, but I still have a crash. I still have an issue. Draw elements. So I think this might stop it crashing for now. So let's just see if we could show you the water as a different color. Now I've not looked at that code for a while, so I might be using a different code. That might be a backup code, but I think that's changed the water color. So it's a bit more purple. So I've made it stronger blue, and I've put a bit of green in and a tiny bit of red. Now to me that's more purple than before, but I could be wrong. I see it so much, I think it's changed. What we will do is, if we go to, we put more red in, more green, we're going to know for sure. Let's take a look. Let's make the mountains a bit higher, a bit bumpier. No, not higher, we're good. Let's get rid of the dog. It's darker to me. What is it? Is it darker? What's everyone saying? If we change modes. This is another tool I made, by the way. So if you want to change the land, give it a little click, raise the land. We can lower the land, make it all flat. We can go back and forth. And go back to the world. Actually, I don't know if it's changed or not. So what do I want to do? Watercolor is a mixture of the watercolor and the final color. And the power, what's the final color? So this is mixing the two. Let's have a look. Make it more red. And then what I'm going to do, because the code might be coming from elsewhere, sometimes you move files about. Current document, current project. Okay, we have another file for watercolor. Let's see. Let's see. It's a texture. No, I think that's working. Better be using this for some uni projects. I'm answering this question. Give me some content, don't worry. Yeah, that's changed. You see it's much more purple now. Yeah. You see those squares? You couldn't normally see like the water tile, the water squares so much. By the way, do I not have a mouse rendering? I don't have a mouse on the screen. That's optional. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so it's just what's changed colour. So no, it's not ray tracing. It's just some old tech. No. Okay, so I'm not crashing now. Okay, so to those that were watching before, now it's shown as the indices. So these are the faces of what it should be drawing. And this data here, I don't know what it is. So the problem we have is we are creating this tree. One tree. Which is here. But I'm writing some new code that imports the tree a different way, which isn't working. And on the new code, the trees, all the lines, all the vertices are being distorted. And these are the indices which will tell you what order to draw it all in. And I think this is all accurate, but then I've got all this data here and I just don't know what it is. It looks like those numbers probably need a comma between every three numbers. Maybe they're texture coordinates, I don't know what that is. This has probably been 5 hours of coding today. But actually, if we clear the code, this is logging all errors. It's just been really helpful. So all of this before was in the Windows console, which you just can't see on screen. So I've created this today. Program handle does not refer to an object generated by OpenGL. So this is the real issue. This is telling me what's going wrong. Clear the log. Okay. Just want to see what's popping on chat. Let me follow some of you guys. we've got. Subscribe to chatting. It's the channel. Evan's using some Panasonic 4K footage. You can maybe help me with my camera. Shout out, I'm changing the water, by the way. I think what I really need to do is get you guys in on ChatGPT. Okay, let's get you some ChatGPT. You're missing out on. There we are. There's 10. And then we will transform, edit transform. Let's take away the top, and we'll take away the bottom. Left and the right. Okay. There we go. So now we are. That's Officer would appreciate checking it out though. Yeah, no problem. I thought you meant what I linked you was so old, because it is. Yeah, I bought. Actually, I'm running off a Sony. What's it called? ZE10, or you tell me what it's called. Let's see. I spent maybe $900 or $1,000 on 4K, but the room's not lit. I ain't done the settings. It's more for outdoors. I'm traveling at the minute. I'm in the Middle East in a controversial war zone, coding, waiting for the sirens to go off. In a friend's house, I'm house sitting, basically. Okay, guys. So what we're going to do now is some vertice research. You might already know this. I have a OBJ file. There'll be typos, by the way. Okay, the faces. Okay, so you can download the async library and it will do all this automatic, which is how my other one worked. It worked okay, but then when I was bringing in textures, there were some issues. What do I want? Object importer. Prefix. I probably need to get rid of the homey GPT. Yep. Okay, parse line. So this is passing all of the 3D model into this function, one line at a time. If the line begins with a V, it's a vertex, it's a point, triangle, the three, and that's fine. Then when we get into faces, the ordering for the indices, everything's just breaking. Because I'm making a game engine, I'm not a 3D modeling bot, I'm happy just to throw this to ChatGPT. Got here. Okay, let's see. That's interesting because what it's given me is still the same. Okay. This is going to be in your way. You have to forgive the setup. I've only got one extra screen at the minute. There's nice OpenGL errors. So what's the latest then? Are you doing any more pit crash, which is fine? Are you doing any more camera stuff? Let's check the log. So this kind of looks better. So now this is what we're getting. I don't understand why the final indice would always be 0. Let's open the file. I don't understand how I can push back -1. Ah. Creating an array. No. Let's do this without that. Let me my bad. Wow, congratulations, baby boy. First child, I guess. So you're mid-20s now, or mostly 3D animation now, but I've been dabbling into game dev recently. You're living in Israel now, yeah? Yeah, no, I'm just visiting here. I'm here for a few weeks. No, I don't live here. This would be January. I've already started in Java. Java. Is that the game library? But in uni they want us to use C sharp. Yeah, that's fair enough. My brother, I don't know if he's tuned than he was earlier. He likes his C sharp. I think I would rather be coding shaders than indexing on object files. It's just terrible. Yeah, I like game library. So the tutorial I linked you, it uses that game library, right? I think so. Because when I followed it in January, I had to change some stuff. You've probably seen that tutorial before or something similar. Oh, sorry, there's two different people. But yeah, things are interesting here. Nothing like what you see on TV, that's for sure. And we was evacuated at 1 a.m. yesterday, the day before, by 3 rockets. It's not even on the news. But anyway, no politics. Not till I squash my bug anyway. Yeah, thanks, man. Bounced to Gemini, and I've asked Gemini to rewrite the function. Sometimes when you're debugging, you just need to come off stream, to be honest. And you just spend a few hours and you crack it. It's like, it just completely deleted my logger. Oh well. No OpenGL errors, thank you. Brightness of the sun, the location of the sun. So the sun used to move, so you had sunsets and some nice effects. But when you're just trying to debug and code, it just gets in the way. And we can add textures and all of that. It was good fun. Okay, let's watch it crash. Yep. We're fully crashed here. Yeah, 230. Yeah. I've never tried it. I think I might just go back to async. Sometimes I don't like to quit for like, but it's not always wise. Sometimes it's good to move on, especially when you're just importing some text. Unhandled exception. I need to load symbols to see what the issue is. Ask Copilot. Let's ask Skynet. Let's ask the AI. Oh, it's not helping me. By the way, is the text too small? Because I've got it like window transparent. It's quite hard to read. Yeah, man, appreciate it. Give us a sub. Where are you guys? So give me your time zones. So async, Alec, will import pretty much everything, which is what I've got on this engine. If I load it up, I've got 2 importers. Async works, but it wasn't bringing in the texture files. And then on some things you needed to do a bit more coding. There was a lot of edge cases, and I thought, no, I'll just code it up straight. Sweet. And then what I thought was easy, I've somehow got it wrong. Okay, what are we doing? The error might be something else. I don't know why I went all caps. What's the 0? By the way, I can't see the window, so if my typing's wrong, I can't see it. Oh, that is not good. So that's probably why it was crashing. That's why it's crashing. But it might crash now, coders, for another reason. Or it might just draw bad. probably what he's going to do. This is what happens when you've not coded in OpenGL, GLSL, and C++ for 6 months. Look at that. He was there. You witnessed it. There we are. That is the most beautiful tree you'll see in a war zone. Right, you guys probably can't see it, but let me show you. Boom. We have the tree. Let's rerun it. I know some of you are emotional because you missed that. So we're running it back. Wait a minute. Oh, we're good. So it looks like I need to sort the projection view out, but I think we're good. The branches maybe? Maybe the faces are flipped. I think what it's doing is when you're too far away, this is the projection matrix. It's not drawing, it's kind of like draw distance. Which GPT version are you using? Just the free one? Yeah, I'm from the UK, as you probably can tell. I'm from I'll give you I'm from the Midlands. I don't live in the Midlands anymore, but I still live in the UK. I'm using the free version, which I think is 4.0 or 4. Is it Omni? And I'm tempted to pay for it, but they kind of hustle you. Like, I think the same with Grok, although I do like Grok. I think that will overtake soon. But they'll tell you there's a new version, but it's only in America. So then you pay for it, and it's like, oh, this version is not yet available there. But they hide that. So I'm just waiting. Okay, so I need to understand now. You see, it's not drawing the tree, as I just said, till you get close. I think might be the projection matrix or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that. Is that the near? Far. Let me just make sure you can see the code. What we need to do. Why is it not searching on my files? There we go. I think it was like 3,000. Yeah. So it just needs to be the same as this. What was that file? I don't know if that will fix it or not. It might be the view matrix, but that was wrong. So for anyone watching, I will just tell you that maths is like, I guess if it was, I don't know if the standard is still GCSE, but I guess kind of could have been an A student, but I was probably a B student because it was, I could do A level in GCSE, but it just took too much. And I wasn't making games, so it was boring. So I think I got a C in maths. If I was disciplined, it should have been a B. So that's probably just above average at maths. But I didn't pursue it. Now, what you look at in game engines, the maths you see is like quite a bit above average, but don't let it put you off. Most of it's done with libraries. You just need to understand the concepts. of linear algebra, but you don't have to go deep. So you can still debug it, you know enough to debug it. I could have pushed and got to a decent level, but I just wasn't passionate about measuring angles and trigonometry. But there was no context. This was like a long time ago. But do some linear algebra tutorials. But even with ChatGPT, you get the GLM library. Okay, it's fixed it as far as a perspective. So now I can go really far out, I guess 3,000 or something before it disappears. But actually, I'm pretty sure it's a similar problem I had before. You see, okay, Ali, that's interesting to know. Yeah, you've got to nail for loops because I don't want to call them easy. Actually, it's just interesting. Some things you don't use for a while. I always tell my listeners, you should know, if you're using ChatGPT for everything a lot, you should know 80% of what it's telling you already. If it's a little library, like earlier I didn't know how to bring the time into if you see my debugger at the top, we wrote this earlier. So every time I import something, it's giving me the time, obviously a unique time. And I didn't know how to do that because I hadn't done it for a year. So I don't mind just cheating. ChatGPT can do all that. I don't care about the time. I don't want to waste an hour. But for all mainstream code, if you know less than 80 or 70% of it, catch up. Otherwise, when them essays come, when them projects come, when them job interviews come. So yeah, I was doing a master's in AI, and then COVID hit. See you later. I dropped. But what I will tell you, if you're a student, early 20s or late teens, maybe you're a mature student, but I'm nearly 40 and I'm still learning OpenGL, which is quite old. But if I continue here for a year, like the skill set will be sharp, it will be employable. It probably is now anyway. This is just a hobby. So no matter how old you get, keep learning. All uni taught me, I have another degree in a different subject, totally different, but all university taught me was to finish big projects and to keep learning. That's what you're learning. You're learning to learn. You're learning to teach yourself. You already know this. So if you're a second year and you want to drop, don't drop. If you're first year, you can do what you want. What month is it? It's September. Okay. Actually, what I want to do now is so you can see I have two trees here. Let me hide some of the user interface. I need to go to hide all of that. But the tree on the right is the same one. It's drawn accurately. Let me see that. And one isn't. I don't know if it's just the faces. As in, it's interpreting how they're facing incorrectly. For me, they're identical. But then you've got all of this. So what I want to do is send an image to ChatGPT and see how big its balls are. Okay. The red tree on the left seems to have branches distorted, but the wireframe looks the same as the... Can't see my text. Orange one, I know you can. What's the issue? Indices seem okay, I think. Is it faces? The context is important from an OBJ. Now this is pretty impressive when it can deduct from an image. Yeah, so by the way, just reading your comment. So the orange object, which looks like it's moving, they're both using different shaders. So the one on the left is just... Actually, I wonder if it's... because it's all red. But yeah, the object on the right is going through a different shader, which has... I coded some light in, so let me show you. So this is the lights here. I've got some lights. I'm going to remove some lights from the scene. There you go. And also, I don't think I can be calling it an engine yet. Maybe in another 6 months. But in my engine, where is the model? Here. Okay, I've just moved one out of the way. So I have tools to move. This one here, I'll put the light back on. Can add it. So this is like, I was testing lighting in the scene and coding light. So if there's a sun, a moon, there's a bad guy with a torch in his hand. And obviously the torch is going to light it up yellow, different lights. So they're moving in different places. But this red one is just a new bit of coding to get some textures working. And then I'm going to get rid of this other version. Where's my wireframe here? Yeah, look, there's just, it's not the same. It's the same file being parsed differently. And I could have started this again a while ago, just deleted and copied and pasted, but it's just taught me what I've forgotten in 6 months away from coding. Forced me to create this little debugger to show all different errors. That was a good bit of fun. And so I asked ChatGPT a question, right? What happened to my... Okay, I need to put the code back to log the indices. Which was... What's going on here? What I'm thinking is now... Oh, I can't remember how we fixed it. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh yeah, it was the 0 that I needed to put on the jail draw. So I think my other one was working, to be honest. Let's test that theory. Does that add a logger on? I want to keep my logger. There. Yeah. Projection. Yeah, that's fair enough. I hope I didn't insult you, by the way, with the ChatGPT advice. But yeah, I think for debugging, I would say I've gone a bit more than debugging with it now. But I think it's just my tutor now. It just speeds up things. What are we doing? Let's get that tree in. By the way, before I run it, I need to make sure I didn't go back too far, because I might have. Yeah, I did. That should be a 0. Okay, everything else I think is okay. So if you're still connected, what's your where do you want to be? Like, do you have a goal? You want to be in game dev, AI? I don't know who asked about the water, but I'm going to put a uniform in so I can just drag and change the color of the water dynamically. Okay, it didn't crash, so I think it's there. We have no tree. Interesting. We have like nothing. Errors upon errors. Yeah, oh no, it's there. Indices. It's definitely train. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. So that makes sense for each triangle. The first point is 7, then it goes from 7 to 8, and 7 to 8 to 14. You've got your triangle, you've got your three lines. Yeah, they connect. That's an index for other data that's not seen with coordinates. So 7, 8, and 14 are 3 other points. So it's saying draw 7 to 8 to 14. And those numbers 7, 8, 14 connect with the vertices vector that has the coordinates in. So 7 might be in this position, and 8 might be talking about here, then 14 might be talking about here. And it gives you the triangles, the ordering. But of course the question is like, why is it done that? Because all I did was add the logger. GL draw. I'm finding this good fun. I don't know why. Draw elements, triangles, indices, unsigned int. Oh, I think this might be just wrong. Yeah. This is type, count, mode. Wasn't ready with the comfort break, was I? And I'll rook it. You might see some cats, by the way. So the aircon actually it was ended up being Ended up being a serial break. 3 AM break. Let me. Okay, going. What was the latest? I was breaking stuff, right? Anyone out there? Greetings from the Middle East. I've got stranded here, going from one airport to another in a war zone, so code him. See if there's any textures attached to this. I don't think there's. I don't like this wrong component type or count because I'm not doing anything yet. Maybe the drawer is being called. kill some bugs. Yeah, we've still got the same bug. It's not that either. Okay. No. Already have one. Error loading texture. That was just a sample message. Shout out where you're from, by the way, if anyone's around. Sorry, I was just eating. I'm doing some debugging now. So there's my tree. Beautiful tree, as it is. Why? So the branches are broke. That's the issue we have. Okay, my laptop was on slow mode. I apologize. I'll just put it back up. Fix the levels. Hey, hit subscribe, by the way. And also tell the chat what projects you're working on or what brings you here. Where do you all spawn from? Okay, I'm just troubleshooting with Gemini. I had a function hit a while ago. That was for loading textures. Okay, so maybe it's not indexed in this. No, I think that's going to make it crash. Let's just find out. I think the vector's going to go out of range. Well, vector in range, but it did break it. Okay, we're going to go to Stack Overflow.
Hey guys and girls,
Okay, my homie here is writing some code. Let's have a look. Anybody out there? I wonder if the issue is the caller function. Here we are, folks, the tree. I think that's a session over for those that have only just jumped on. I'll show you what we have. Our little engine. Early days engine. We have some physics tools as well. I've not really shown those. Still, that's all. So, force factor, character. So we can walk a little. Land a little flatter. Oh, yep. And if I do a bit of magic here, view physics engine and wireframe, for the character. This is what we are. This is the character. This is what we're controlling. You can just see it. I let go of all buttons. The gravity is still pulling it a little. It still has force. There we are. Night from the Middle East. Subscribe.